I know when most of us think of our vehicles when we mention alignment, but we can become misaligned as well. When the body, mind, and spirit are out of sync, it's time for a tune-up. At the cusp of the 21st century, author Rick Warren's book, The Purpose-Driven Life, emerged during a period marked by transformation. The early 2000s was not only a time of rapid technological advancements, reshaping communication and social interactions, but also a period where the internet began to weave into the fabric of daily life. The rise of the internet and global media facilitated greater exposure to a diversity of beliefs and practices, encouraging a more individualistic approach to spirituality. People had more access to a range of philosophical and theological perspectives, leading to a questioning of traditional doctrines and dogmas. This era was notably in altering societal dynamics and influencing various aspects of life, from personal relationships to global connections. Arguably, the most defining moment of this era, particularly in the United States, was the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. This period saw a collective reevaluation of beliefs and values as many people engaged in existential questioning and sought meaning in a rapidly changing and challenging world. There was also a noticeable shift towards spirituality, including increased attendance at religious services, a surge in the publication and consumption of spiritual and religious literature, and a heightened public discourse on spiritual matters. Individuals were exploring questions about human suffering, the nature of evil, and the search for peace. While living on purpose can be a powerful way to achieve success and satisfaction in life, to live in alignment, we first need to understand what our values are. When it comes to living a purposeful life, understanding and identifying our core values is key. Moreover, living in alignment with our values means our actions and behavior support what's important to us. Now, you may be thinking that any and all of this is counter to being Unitarian Universalist because of the 7 principles that help guide us. The living tradition of Unitarian Universalism is the container that allows us freedom to work out what we need to ultimately find peace. However, each one of us is on our separate journey. It has been said that some are born with spiritual immune systems that sooner or later reject the illusory worldview that's thrust upon them from birth through social conditioning. They begin sensing that something is amiss, and like many of you here, begin seeking answers and a new way of being. Once you've decided on your values, it's time to focus on the steps that support your choices. Let's say you choose health, adventure, and kindness. The next step is to determine what each one looks like. It means making conscious decisions about how to spend your time and energy that are in alignment with your deepest values. These values are fundamental principles that guide your behavior and your decisions. They are what you truly believe in, and what you consider to be important in life. Identifying your core values helps you gain clarity about who you are and what you stand for. To begin identifying your core values, take some time to reflect on the things that truly matter to you. Ask yourself, what brings me the most joy? Or what makes me feel fulfilled? Think about the times when you felt happiest and most satisfied in your life. Consider the qualities and principles that you admire in others and strive to embody them yourself. It can also be helpful to create a list of values and narrow them down to the ones that resonate with you the most. Ask yourself, if I could only choose 3 values to live my life by, what would they be? Personally, I choose empathy, honesty, and open-mindedness because they represent positivity, encouraging understanding, and a willingness to consider different perspectives. This exercise can help you prioritize and identify the values that are most important to you. Remember, our core values may evolve over time, and that's okay. What matters is that we have a clear understanding of what we value at any given point in life. There's an old African American saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I think we see that play out on the world stage in many ways today, where some people put their trust in the known criminal elements while rejecting scientific research and biomedical studies. However, once you have identified your core values, use them to serve as a compass in making decisions to live a more purposeful life. Overcoming obstacles and staying committed to living a purposeful life can be challenging, but it's essential for long-term satisfaction. Moreover, if it's not out of the ordinary to encounter setbacks and face doubts and experience moments of frustration along the journey. However, we cannot allow these obstacles to deter us from staying the course and remaining true to our values and purpose. We should cherish our doubts because, as Robert Weston informs, doubt is the touchstone of truth and the key to the door of knowledge. One way to overcome obstacles is by remaining open-minded and flexible and being willing to adapt our approach as needed. It's also important to cultivate a growth mindset and embrace challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. Moreover, rather than viewing setbacks as insurmountable barriers, we can view them as a temporary, solvable problems. Revisiting our core values and personal mission statement regularly helps to reinforce our motivation and sense of purpose. It keeps us connected to our why. Living on purpose is important. Celebrating small victories along the way boosts confidence and helps maintain momentum. To remain committed to living on purpose, it's important to trust yourself as well as trusting in the divine process. Remember, remaining committed to living a purposeful life is a lifelong journey. Therefore, it's natural to experience it, ups and downs. But by persevering and maintaining a steadfast focus on our values, it's possible to overcome obstacles. The basis of all true progress is the right attitude. If you're becoming kinder, more self-giving, and calmer, you may be sure that you are progressing. If you're succeeding in relinquishing your likes and dislikes and are learning to accept even-mindedly whatever experiences life sends you, then you have a cause for rejoicing. The very fact that your attitude is improving is sign enough that something is happening. The very worst thing that any one of us can do is to compare ourselves to others, because we don't all get thunder and lightning in our encounters with Spirit. For most of us, it's a process that occurs slowly over time. I firmly believe the greatest contribution added to the ability to overcome obstacles is being surrounded with a community of like-minded individuals who share similar values and goals. Building connections with other believers is a fundamental aspect of the design of our existence, as opposed to living in isolation. It's very easy to be with people who possess the same values as our own, because we have the opportunity to lean on each other for encouragement, advice, and accountability. But if we can be our authentic selves with those who challenge and disagree with us, keeping our values intact along the way, that's the real test. That's living by heart and expanding our alignment with Spirit. Spirit, unlike religion, is not just a set of beliefs. The essence of Spirit is based on the principle that divinity resides in all creation. I know that as we watch the way we humans treat one another at times, it's hard to understand or even believe how anything resembling divinity can reside within some of us. But while the spiritual essence of human value is inherent within us, the cross-cultural and individual expressions are learned, developed of our own making, and practiced in the social environments that we live and work in. And while many Unitarian Universalists take such pride in their individualism with the staunch belief that nothing and no one is going to change them, congregational life does change us, because doing spiritual work in community is in itself a spiritual practice. Therefore, the power of Spirit is too important to ignore. So, if we enter deeply into the challenges of congregational life, open to the changes that come through our intention and the mysterious hand of grace, we will grow spiritually. Being in service to a mission and vision of the spiritual community that you have pledged to support is the way that you are living out a particular system of values. And while we are at various junctures on our respective paths, and may all have our individual personal why, we do gather for inspiration, for solace in times of trouble, to celebrate our joys, both personal and collective. We gather to mourn, to deepen connections with one another, and to all that is greater than ourselves. We gather to give thanks for another day. And within the midst of all that, growth occurs. Consciousness is expanded, and we become spiritually aligned. Everything that we say or do is a reflection of all that we value. The simplest action affects the world and those around us. And oftentimes, the easiest way to encourage individuals is by being authentic. When we show respect, respect is shown in kind. By living our values, we become a positive force of inspiration for others. Living consciously and with heart truly embracing life without reservation is a living example of spiritual alignment. During trying times, we call forth the wisdom and spirit of the teacher, the healer, and the master. Igniting a spark of consciousness can be as simple as offering a favorite book or the title of an inspirational film. We can offer to teach a new skill or simply be present to listen. What you offer may not be grand, but you can affect reality and know that you are contributing to making the world a better place. This practice aligns us with our inner guidance and enhances our ability to navigate life's complexities with grace and resilience. Because if we gather for our needs alone, our lives and our spirits will be left empty. The path to spiritual alignment is through heart-centered living that beckons us to transcend the confines of the ego mind and immerse ourselves in the inner wisdom of our hearts. Through mindful practices, emotional healing, and a commitment to authenticity, we begin to embrace the fullness of our being. So let us embark on this transformative journey with an open heart and a spirit of curiosity, knowing that the true essence of our existence lies within the depths of our soul. From my heart to yours, may it be so.